Okay, I think I'm live. Oh yeah, I am. Hey guys. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see everything okay. Good. Can you guys hear me? Woot woot. Hey Amanda. I love that you're joining when you do not have an infant or anything. You're just like so supportive and amazing. Yes. So I'll just let some people log on and join us. I know a lot of people, hey, I know a lot of people had a lot of questions tonight. So I'll just kind of wait for that. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, oh, I love it. Amanda, you're so great. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm doing this. Actually, Amanda from My Little Lotus really encouraged me to try to get a little bit creative to be able to connect better with you guys for the challenges that I'm facing now at the moment as a mom blogger while my child is not sleeping as much during the day. So this was, hey Pom, hey Elise. Hey Alyssa. Yeah, so this was kind of one of the things that she came up with. She said I'm good on camera, which I don't really know if I am, but I appreciate the compliment. But I think it'll be really great to have a point of reference of certain topics every week that when you guys are asking me these questions, I can say, oh, there's a really great session, an interactive session with my followers and me in my IGTV. So I'm gonna try it out every couple weeks. Sometimes it'll be just me, sometimes it will be, hey Mike, sometimes it will be with other like experts or other mom bloggers, other community members, business owners, things like that. So that's really fantastic. I'll wait a couple more minutes. Hey Lily. To get like right in the thick of the questions. But what I'll start saying is a huge amount of questions that I got to talk about in this session was actually about sleep training. So we sleep trained Amadeo. Okay, thanks Lily. We sleep trained Amadeo around 3.5 months. We started thinking about it and considering hiring a sleep trainer around 3 months. And I got in touch with Antea, who is actually on Instagram, Antea Mama Coach. And she, with me and my husband, following suit and being really strict and following her sleep plan for my son, sleep trained my son the nighttime in 3 days. And daytime took about 3 weeks, but that's usually harder. Anyway, because you guys had so many questions about sleep training, I did contact her and we will eventually do a live together so she can talk about the process, the costs associated, what she can do for you guys, when is an appropriate time to sleep train, because I know I've talked to her in the past and she says pretty much any age is appropriate. It's just about it looking different. But anyway, yeah, it's like, if I didn't do it, I think it would have been the biggest regret so far in my motherhood career and experience to not sleep train my son. So yeah, I'm very happy I did that. Does anyone have any questions that have just logged onto here, or should I get into tummy time? Oh, my husband joined. Okay, so I'm just gonna start talking, and if you guys have questions or anything, let me know. A lot of the questions that I get on the daily, especially as of late, have been when to start tummy time, how to do it. Their children are really not liking tummy time at all. And so they're kind of reached out for help. I'm not completely well-versed as of the last, I want to say 6 years with infants. I work with ages like 2.5, 3 years old, all the way to like 11, 12. So I had to kind of do my research. I had to talk to our doctor. I spoke a lot to my sister-in-law, who actually has worked most of her career in our infant program, so she gave me lots of really good tips. But yes, I've recently gone through that. I had a child who very much did not like tummy time. So when I was doing a lot of different things that seemed to work, I'm happy to share what I've done with that, as well as what some experts kind of gave me advice on what I implemented with Amadeo. So one of the first questions is usually when to generally start tummy time. Oh yeah, Laura, it's super hard. Also, tummy time, you can't really expect an infant to like it. If you think about how if you're starting to work out and like do something that your body and your muscles have never done before, your body is like fighting it, and it's hard and it's strenuous, and like that's essentially what's happening to them, and they don't understand what's going on and this and that. So like a lot of infants are not a fan of it. So yeah, generally when to start doing it is around 2 weeks old. I think baby personalities as well, for sure. And a big thing they say about trying to get your baby to like it and try to fight that like personality thing and stuff is doing it on the daily, which I didn't necessarily do, because when you're not sleeping a lot, you're not eating a lot, you're trying to breastfeed, you're trying to pump, like the shit show of motherhood has kind of hit you. If your baby's like screaming because they're on their tummy and uncomfortable, I'm just like, okay, I'll hold you. Like, make it stop. So it's really much easier said than done, to push through and like do it every single day, to get your baby to like do it. They say generally around 3 months is when they really start hating tummy time. And that's because, they're really starting to use the muscles that they've kind of like strengthened in their neck, shoulders, and back, and trying to like reach and grab for things. So it's like an added pressure and stress to that. So yeah, one thing though I want to say is when you're doing tummy time and trying to implement it, make sure it's safe. And what I mean by that, which I had to do research and my doctor told me, was all the time, infants actually have like a survival instinct of, if they're in an uncomfortable position or they think they're in danger or their body's telling them that, like signals from their nervous system, they can actually flip over. So like as early as out of the womb, they can flip. So when you're doing tummy time, making sure it's a supervised activity. Don't just, have them on the counter, have them on a table, anything like that. They can flip over and hurt themselves. So even though they're like new, they can't really move, make sure that they're on a surface supervised and safe. You can do tummy time on a lot of different things to try to like relieve some of the pressure and help them build those muscles much slower. So you can do it on your lap, which is really great, on like an exercise ball. We used a lot our soft breastfeeding pillow. So we'd put it like this and have him laying on top of here. It was supportive, but like gave him some give, as well as we have the City Skip Hop activity mat, and it came with a pillow like this. I think most of them do. So again, this is just like another little pillow that gives support for tummy time, and he really enjoyed this. And it has little like crinkly things there, so that was like really good in those moments. You can do it on a mat, you can do it on your chest. Again, the younger that they are, do it for less amount of time. When you're starting around 2 weeks old, it's literally about like 30 seconds to maybe a minute. And then throughout, gauge your child with how much time you're allotting them per every couple hours, per day, sort of thing like that. So around the 3 month mark, when tummy time is becoming an issue and your child is really not wanting it, screaming this and that, one of the only things that you can kind of do is make it a little bit more interesting for them, so they forget that like they don't want to be doing it. I read a tip somewhere to do it for a few minutes at every diaper change, and flip when you're standing there. Combine, they may get 20 minutes a day. Oh, that's a really good suggestion. Yeah, I like that a lot. So when you're doing a diaper change, when you're doing that every couple, well, depending on your child and what you're feeding it and stuff, my child peed all the time. So he would have gotten a lot of tummy time, but you're already doing that motion. So you're not having to like stress if you're getting tummy time in, if you're really helping them. A quick change, flip them over a little bit, flip them back over. And yeah, like Laura's saying, like it would probably be like 20 minutes a day, just those couple moments while you're changing them, because you're changing them a lot. Yeah, so to get back around that 3-month mark where they start really like, hating tummy time, you can sing to them if singing's not your thing, because I know it's not a lot of people's. Talk to them, try to make it interesting, put different things in front of them, and these are my favorites. So when people have been asking me, I've been sending them these pictures of what we used. Again, almost everything around that time was done on our breastfeeding pillow with my son laying this way. I should have gotten like a stuffed animal to show you. Or the little dog. But we got and put on our registry, it's an Infantino like sensory water mat. So you just fill it up and you blow it up and they play with it. So any sort of like different texture and movement will keep them occupied. I also have on a lot of different blog posts, some really easy DIY sensory bags. So these are essentially the exact same thing. I only at the moment, with whatever I'm putting inside, only use one bag because my child's pressure isn't going to break this bag. If you're ever making these, I want to say, because I've gotten a couple messages with older children who have pressure like essentially us and can break the bag, double or triple the Ziploc bags. But anyway, yeah, in this one, I actually have hand sanitizer, glitter, and then like some different things. These are like little bee and flower erasers. I have like a C one with just like stickers in there and stuff. I have an Easter one I made a while ago. You can also put different things in, not just like hair gel and sanitizer and like things like that. I have like a rainbow race one. And so it's like kind of like hide and seek. So again, it's like different textures, different sounds, things like that to get them distracted and like not think about what they're doing and that they hate what they're doing. One thing that I talk about a lot, just so if you don't know, if you've never really followed me on like my stuff and everything, I have partnered with Scholar's Choice. Actually, a blog post is coming out really shortly about that. But a lot of the time I talk about products, and a lot of them I have purchased with my own money. If not, I'll always specify. But these were actually a gift. They're called Squigs. So they're essentially like silicone things and they stick to flat surfaces. So like they can stick to your countertops, wood floors, trays. We brought them on the airplane. So they're all different like shapes and sizes. And if you guys have followed me kind of from the beginning, I used to put Amadeo on the breastfeeding pillow and suction these to the wood floor so he could kind of like touch and move them. And then to get more movement and stuff, I would build them up so he would like hit them like that. Squigs are a toy, like a lot of the toys that I do purchase with my own money for Amadeo, that last a very long time. So we use these in our programs, actually in our infant room and toddler and preschool and up. But I find that after like 6 or 7 years old, they don't really care to play with them. My husband, who's on here, would say no because he loves playing with them, and so do I actually. But yeah, but if you're buying something for your child who's going to use it from like, I started at 2 months old, supervised obviously, all the way up until like 6 or 7, like that's a really good value. And I think per package it's like $30. Yeah, so Squigs are like my number one thing. I even use them right now, like during like a transition, like after he's done eating. And he's 8 months old now. So yeah, these really helped with tummy time. Putting different objects in front of them. These are like the foam munchkin ones, which helps. Oh yeah, you put yours in the bath. So awesome. On the tiles and the ceramic. I put these in the bath too. So these have like bite marks all in them. Anything that also helps with like teething and different things like that are like awesome. So putting this even in front of, when I was doing a lot of tummy time things in the winter with Amadeo, I was filling baking trays with like a little bit of water, and I was like putting these in with them. I was putting some snow in the water. I had like some squigs and like Arctic animals. You can just get creative and like really simple stuff. But again, it's like keeping their attention for a little bit of time while you're doing tummy time. Yeah, so that's, oh, and I used to like put like books and stuff, like hardcover books, board books, things that like made sound and everything. Yeah, just essentially keeping them busy. Now, when they start getting a little bit older than like the 3-month mark, that's when they're going to start reaching for things. So tummy time is kind of more about like, you're going to start to notice that you can start removing the pillows. They don't need that much support, and they're interested in like doing a bit more things. So kind of the technique to, again, keep them not bored and stuff is to put things kind of all around them. So Amadeo's favorite thing when I would do that was balls. So I have like a big bin of balls. These are all from an Infantino set of different sensory balls. So they're different sizes, different textures. They can go in his mouth, things like that. And then I also, these were gifted to me from Terra 20. Scholar's Choice also carries them. I forget what brand, but they're in a blog post for my favorite things, 6 months products. But when I was doing the event at Scholar's Choice not too long ago, one of my followers bought like a really big version of this for her 5-month-old, and she like loves them. But yeah, so like they're like a squishy texture. They're really good for teething. Anyway, just putting whatever you're putting a little bit further and all around them. So there's different points of interest. They're turning their neck or attempting to. So they're building like different muscles in their neck, as well as like trying to reach for things. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's kind of like tummy time. Again, just trying to like, Laura, I do play with all these things like every single day. You guys who are on right now, do you have any questions about tummy time before we kind of like wrap that up and move on to some of the other questions? If not, don't worry. I feel like I went on knowing what a lot of other people have been asking me a lot about tummy time. So if I've kind of hit everything, that's fantastic, because this is what I've kind of explained to those other moms. So that would be great. I don't think I missed that. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. A lot of people also started asking, from that 0 to 6 month mark, what did I find most important? Kind of for me, oh, Laura, is there such thing as too much? Absolutely. Again, kind of referencing for tummy time to like us as our own like adult bodies. Anytime you're working any muscle, especially within children, you need to take it more slow and gradually so it builds up the proper muscles. Especially tummy time is kind of like the most important thing that mirrors and goes with them and helps them with their gross motor skills leading up to childhood. So yeah, really making sure you're not doing too much. Go with the cues of your baby. Again, I recommend doing research about what are kind of like the appropriate times to start off with, because, you know, when you think of like, oh, I need to do tummy time, you think of this like it being this huge long thing. When Laura, when you recommended, you know, doing it at a diaper change, again, yeah, that may total a 20 minutes throughout your whole day, but it really looks like 30 seconds to a minute after each diaper change throughout your entire day. So definitely there can be too much tummy time, and you don't want to strain them, or else their muscles won't develop properly. So yeah, do the research about like which ages that can be helpful for. Okay, so I'll move on. Yeah, a lot of questions were from moms who just started having babies, and they asked me, in my opinion, what is like the thing they should be doing most. Hey, girl. Oh, hey, Ashley. I love how there's like people on here without children right now. It's like my favorite. So supportive. Yeah, so one of the things with a newborn, especially 0 to 6 months, I want to say a lot of what I recommend is very much keeping them alive, but very much taking care of yourself. Most mothers do not. I definitely did not do as much self-care or as much time for myself that I should have. I should have definitely listened and implemented to more of what my therapist was saying, what my husband was pushing me to do. But it's really hard to separate yourself when you've just pushed a human being out of your body. As much as you're exhausted, as much as you want to, it's really, really, really hard to be like, okay, I don't need to be doing this right now, because you really do feel like, you know best, you know what your child needs at every moment. And when they're that young, it's really hard sometimes to leave them. So I definitely recommend a lot of the 0 to 6 months, consider yourself a little bit more. So by the time they're like passing that 6 months mark, you're not like completely burnt out like I was. Around 4 months is when I was diagnosed with postpartum and postpartum anxiety disorder. So, depression and anxiety. So I think the next time I'm going to try, if I do have another child, I'm going to try a lot more to think about myself. Yes, and of course, keeping my child alive and stuff, but considering myself a lot. Yes, especially with baby number 2 and 3, you have this other child you need to keep alive, or other children, your husband, the dog, the whatever, like life is crazy. Another thing, I guess, just regarding this helps you as well as your baby is, I know it seems kind of dumb. It did to me. A lot of people recommended it to me and I did not listen at all. And in hindsight, I really wish I did, because I see the people who are doing it now a huge benefit is establishing a bit of a routine. That can be as flexible or as strict as you want it to be. But the 0 to 6 months, we started establishing a more strict routine when we started sleep training. So it was like the morning routine, the first nap routine, the lunch, the second nap, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But that transition from like 0 routine and doing whatever I wanted with a newborn infant, sleeping whenever it wanted to sleep, and doing this and doing that and doing that. Especially, again, I said it took about 3 weeks to like get our daytime figured out, which was really exhausting. It would have helped with that. So just, again, it might be like more flexible for some, more whatever, more strict for some, but like with baby number 2, and I'll be doing it because I have another child with me, establishing just simple routines. Like every day around this time we do this, whether it's you wake up, you read a book. Okay, great. Hey guys, Naomi, or don't, or not. But yeah, so that's essentially what I recommend, what I'm going to be doing, hopefully with my second one. And it hopefully will just help with sleep training, with just getting with the program and things like that. Oh my God, I love it. So yeah, that was like another question. Another thing that a lot of people asked is how to get their foot in a door for like mommy play dates in groups. And that a lot of people are very frightened. As a first-time mom, I kind of really had an idea of what I wanted my newborn life to look like. To the point of, in the beginning, I started really pushing myself, and I was going to quite a few. I'll never stop laughing, so I'm glad you like it, Naomi. I started going to a lot of like sing and song classes and things like that. But I really found that I didn't like or enjoy them. And I wasn't making the connections that I have after I stopped going to them. And again, like, it works for some people, but I found at like these mommy and me play dates, a lot of people were there with other people and it became a little bit cliquish. So anyway, in my experience, and why I think a lot of mothers are saying they're afraid of it, is sometimes that's what happens. So yeah, a lot of the people that I've connected, yeah, Laura, it's not fun. And you're like trying to connect with people and it's like super awkward and yeah. Anyway, most of the connections that I have made have been on social media through this blog. Oh, Laura's saying going to swimming after 2 months. I'm really excited. I'm going to start swimming with Amadeo soon. And stuff like that. So as much as I'm saying, do not stay in your house and like segregate yourself or anything like that, I found a lot of people that I was meeting online who lived in my neighborhood or who had similar interests. So in my case, they were other mom bloggers because we could relate on that level. And we were very supportive in a lot of different levels that pertain to my life. Finding that connection with someone and then like rotating houses for play dates maybe. I love having people come to my house, especially because of napping. Just your kid's sleeping upstairs and you're, you know, drinking coffee and hanging out with other kids and other moms, and it's fantastic. So I definitely, again, I think it's important to get out there, but I also understand from the perspective of these moms who are asking and like, I'm so afraid to do this. Try. Like, I think with motherhood, just trying to see what fits for you, what fits for your family, your partner, your child, is probably what's best. So again, like I had different experiences, but I recommend just try, just see what works for you. Because I have even like my sister-in-law, she made, a lot of friends through her mommy and me groups, and they're still friends and their children are still friends. So that was like a different outcome and experience than I had. Try everything once and you'll know pretty quick what works. Yes. I wonder why that is, Sarah, eh? Simply Sarah had a good thing. Maybe it's because we're like so old and wise after we push a child out of our vaginas. I don't know. I think so. Sorry for the men if they're still on here for that. That was pretty graphic. It's only kids under 5. Oh, that's about swimming. Laura's talking about the swimming classes. That's awesome. I'm trying to see if there's any questions. So I know a couple of you have children who are younger than Amadeo, so probably in that 6-month mark. Do you have any questions, or anyone who's on here who had children that wondered things when they had it? Maybe I can help. Sometimes I'm not an expert, but I can give my opinion and my experience. I'm looking at Facebook too. Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions right at the moment, a lot of things that I get on the daily as well, because I'm constantly sharing me and Amadeo's day through my stories, is what are my favorite toys 6 months and under. And Taya just joined. I was talking about you, girlfriend. I was talking about sleep training because there was a million questions about sleep training, but I said, don't you worry. Me and Antea will do a live and she can talk about your experience and what you offer. Anyway, little hard eyes. Yeah, so again, a lot of people want to know, probably especially because of my background, what toys that I absolutely love. And a lot of the time I get questions, what toy is that? Oh my God, Amadeo loves that. My child is super weird. Like he's always really liked stuffies. He's really liked he's really liked like a lot of tactile things and stuff, which is really, really funny. But when he was in that 0 to 6 month age range, which I have a blog post that I'd like to direct you guys towards, because I'm actually realizing I forgot the sensory board downstairs. But I made a dollar store sensory board. It's also on my feed actually. And it was a black Bristol board, like one of those thicker presentation boards. And I essentially glued, most of it was like safe kitchen items that were different textures and different things. I like glue gunned them on because at that age, they're not ripping them off. They're just touching them. That also helped with tummy time. And it was also like a really good sensory tactile board that did not cost a lot. And it was really awesome. But yeah, I'm going to show you some of the toys that I really love 0 to 6 months. Again, I'll show you these first. My squigs, they're awesome, 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 awesome. These, super simple, super amazing. You can hook them onto pretty much anything. Around that age, Amadeo loved these when we were in the car. It helped with the car seat meltdowns a bit. So I would like kind of hook some down here and some down here, and they'd be like going in front of him. They make a really cool sound for them. So it's like hitting a lot of different things. But yeah, super simple toy. I think everyone needs to have this staple of the chain links. It's so funny because like usually the simplest things are that. Laura gives them... Yes, and a lot of the times, like, kids use a lot of stuff throughout. Like, I haven't put away any of these toys because even though Amadeo's 8 months and going up, I know he's going to use them, and he's going to use them in different ways, which is super cool. And also gets more value out of what you're spending on for the toys in your house. Amadeo started teething at 3 months. So that was super fun for me. But usually, like, around, like, 5, 6 months they start. And they're working on like their grasp. At 3 months, it really sucked because a teething ring like this that you can put in like the fridge or freezer and stuff for them, he couldn't really hold on to and he just hated it. Now loves this thing. So again, I'm happy I didn't give it away or throw it away because at that stage he used it. But again, a lot of people like this or like the little toothbrush he has been playing with as a toy and a teether since like, again, 3 months old. And this was one that he could hold on to and was fantastic. So I think they're called the banana brush. Mine was on my registry at Bye Bye. Oh, it says baby banana right on it. My baby registry at Bye Bye Baby. So I think this is like a must and it's not too expensive as well. Also squigs, amazing teething toy. And they're silicone, so you can put them in the freezer and the fridge. All the toys that kind of come with an activity mat are really great. I found these two actually. Ooh, they're Chicka Chicka Boom Boom ones. I found these thrifting at Value Village, which was like amazing because they're usually baby toys don't get like in horrible condition. So buying infant baby stuff thrifting is usually a really smart thing because they're still in like really good condition. Anyway, this one is a really good example of what would be like a really good toy from like, I even want to say like 2 months. They start like really noticing different things around them, different textures. They're kind of grabbing at things, getting more interested. So like, I'll say like the 2 month to like 6 month mark. These little things have the little sounds there, which is really awesome. The little ropes and tags. Oh, I didn't bring it up with me, but we have like a taggy, which is like essentially like a blanket or a lovey with tags on them. Kids love tags. Like don't take the tags off if they won't choke on them, which is awesome. This is like a little teething thing, which has different textures on both sides. The rings, any toys that have rings like this on it, this one has quite a few. It's really easy for them to hold on to. So like a lot of the time what I talk about with parents who are, you know, trying to ask what to do with like younger kids, or even like moving on forward, with like, let's say children with like learning disabilities or behavioral issues. A lot of the time I say start from the bottom. If a child, infant at any age, going up to children that are older, are going to get frustrated trying something that they fail at the first time, it leaves like a really negative impact in their brain, and a lot of the time, depending on their personality, they just don't want to try again. So giving them age appropriate toys, or toys that you know that they can master, like they can try to grab this, they can hold on to this. If you're giving them something that is like this, like I did with my son, he got frustrated and hated this for 3 months. This is just, it's too heavy, it's too big, they can't grasp it and hold on to it. So again, like if you're giving things that they can hold on to, that they won't get frustrated with, they're going to build those muscles in their fingers and hands. They're going to, oh, how do I pause? I'm not sure, but I think if you go back on, it'll just continue, which is awesome. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So that's one of the things, like giving them things that they can touch. And yeah, there's just other things that they can go on. And then a mirror. 0 to 6 months, they love looking at themselves. It's like the most amazing thing. So like putting them in front of mirrors, having like, this is plastic, like they can't hurt themselves, which is awesome. So yeah, just having a couple of these staples that you can bring out with you, whether you're, you know, trying to keep them busy in a car seat while you're driving so you don't have those crazy screams and meltdowns, or if you're traveling on the bus, to have little things for them to play and keep them busy is really awesome. So yes, if you don't get these for your shower, I recommend thrifting, because these were like $1.99 each. And new, it's like, I don't know, $18 to $20. That's crazy. These were also thrifted. These are like, they're called silks, play silks. They are, I'm actually coming out with a blog post of like a lot of different activities you can do with kids, but essentially they're really, really, really great. First of all, when your child starts seeing colors and stuff, seeing a big bold print in front of them that is a different color than everything else around them is really, really great for their eye muscles and recognizing those different colors. But like playing peekaboo, putting things over their head and going whoosh, them feeling the air that it's gonna make, like the little wind and stuff, letting them play with it and pull on it, kind of like tug of war, but a bit less than when you're playing with your dog. When they are more around like the 5 or 6 month, you can put them inside like an empty Kleenex box, then they can try to pull them out. You can tie them on things. If you sometimes play with your child in a crib, I did around that age. You can tie it onto the bars so they can like play with that. Laura said hiding toys under them. Absolutely, like so fun. You can literally do so much. Again, I thrifted these at Value Village for $1.99 each. So it was like so awesome because you can order these new and they're very, very expensive. We did those things with clothes when folding the laundry. Yeah, absolutely. Or just doing that, like having these little peekaboo games, like things like that, things they can touch. My child is obsessed with eating socks, which is super gross. I think he has a foot fetish, but that's what he does all the time. Absolutely. Okay. Musical toys that they can grab onto and touch. My sister-in-law, I don't know if you can see, like this is super small. My sister-in-law picked this one up when we did the event at Scholar's Choice for Amadeo, and another rain stick, again, that he can hold. So anything that they can hold onto, it's not too heavy, they can move on their own, and it's cause and effect. They're gonna start to figure out that they're the ones making this noise. It's a really, really, really great connection and brain development skill that they're gonna start recognizing. So anything, again, that you can find that are a little bit less weighted, and they can really work on the pulmonary grasp and their finger muscles, which is fantastic. So yeah, they sell these at Scholar's Choice, and I think they're like $7.99 or something like that. And they'll be using these for a long time as well. This is one of my favorite toys, and I recommend this to buy earlier, like around like the 5 to 6 month mark, if you're gonna get something like this. This is by Fat Brain Toys. I forget the name of it, but essentially they are great for color recognition, shape recognition, everything like that. But what's awesome about these is these are also our silicone, but they don't get lost because they have like a thing on them. So right now, Amadeo, even at 8 months, is not putting these back, but he's been enjoying other benefits of this, playing with it, chewing on the pieces, things like that, for a lot longer. So again, what I try to tell parents is when you're thinking about the items you're buying for your kids, if they can be used safely, supervised younger, your child's going to get a lot of different things out of that toy for a much longer time. So we've already had this for like 2 months now, and he'll be playing with this past a year old. He'll just be using it in different ways, which is really awesome. So yeah, I forget the name. I'm gonna find and I'll put in the stories for you guys, but it's by Fat Brain Toys, which I really like a lot of the toys they carry. They have a lot of purpose with them, which is really awesome. This is another one that I really like, also by Fat Brain Toy Co. This one, Amadeo got at Scholar's Choice as well. Emily Webster, who is their social media, oh my God, I'm losing my brain, marketer. She recommended it. Again, another toy that can be used younger. Oh, baby can pull out shapes. Any other toys baby can rip. You know what I put in front of my child a lot is the laminated magazine, like flyer paper. So not like the newspaper one, the laminated one, or like wrapping paper, tissue paper. Again, have everything supervised, but those are items that they have to work at a little bit more to rip, but they love doing it and they'll do it literally forever. So yeah, I give him, it's a lot of the time Canadian Tire flyers. They're like these really nice magazines, or the IKEA ones if I'm done looking at them. Just rip out papers and then they'll play with them and rip them. So that's awesome. And you don't have to pay for that. Yeah, so back to this toy. It's a toy that they can pop in and out. It's also silicone, so it's great for teething. It can be put in the freezer, which I've done and Amadeo is obsessed with. And it's funny when he's trying to chew on them, they'll like pop in and out. So then he'll like turn them and stuff. He actually spent like forever playing with this today. But again, it's a toy that can be younger and transferred older. Also, I see me implementing this with my school agers who have a lot of different sensory things going on where they need to be like touching and moving things, whether I'm reading or things like that. So I think this is like a really good toy for that. So I'll be bringing that back to work with me. Okay, a pop-up toy or like a piano, something that makes noise, which I didn't want to have in my life, but like you need it. So like you need at least one. And most of the time your like in-laws will buy it. But I thrifted this one again from Value Village. It's Mirari is the brand. So what's the best way to clean the silicone toys? You can clean them in different ways. For me, I literally just use warm water and soap, and then rinse them off and let them dry in my like Boone rack. But I have a sterilizer. Why am I blanking on the name? One sec, it's right here. I'm gonna look at it. Oh yeah, the Baby Brezza. And I've actually put them in there and they've been okay. But yeah, silicone's really easy to disinfect and get the germs off. Yeah, so this one is, I'll turn it on. Hopefully I won't wake up my son, but it's ridiculous. So it like, and then it can make like piano noises, things like that. Anyway, just get one staple toy like this. Again, you can let like a family member or something buy this. I really like this one. First of all, that I thrifted it for like $7.99 or $4.99, something like that. But it has a lot of different color recognition things, and he'll be playing with this for a long time. Also, my husband, this is like his favorite toy ever. He likes to get me to challenge him, and I shake all the pieces, and then he gets them all back in the proper corresponding colors. I've basically married a big child. Okay, so if Antea is still on here, I'm not sure. I'm not going to talk about the sleep training because, again, we're going to be doing a live in the future, so she can talk a bit more about that. But one thing that I will say, which I, again, wish I started from much younger than I did, is introducing a lovey. So whatever one you choose, I have the big version of this, but by recommendation of another mom who I actually went to high school with, she said to get a smaller version and just make sure it's 100% cotton so it's breathable. But essentially, this will help so much when you do go to sleep train, because this is what my son uses as a main sleep tool to self-soothe. I bought 4 of them and I've washed them all together, so I rotate them in and out. And hopefully they won't like completely disintegrate like my nephew's has, and he still has it. But I have a lot of different options, especially if I travel and I lose one or something like that, because they do discontinue and they won't be the same. But yeah, so this is like Ali saying, yes, she's the one who recommended this. Introduce this much younger than when you're going to start sleep training. Just get them to get used to the feeling, the texture, things like that. Lovey is like a big thing to do. Another toy that I actually just purchased from IKEA, because they don't always have them. So I got them when Amadeo is now 8 months old, but I wish I had them younger because I read a lot of books to him about vegetables and fruit. I don't know, a lot of like my favorite illustrations are from... Oh yeah, Allie's saying she introduced hers to her child, to her little daughter at 2 months old, and she only sleep trained at 5 months. And it was like the best thing that she did because her child uses that still to this day as a soothing mechanism, even not during sleep, which is really fantastic. And it's a hard skill to learn, so if you can like introduce that much younger, around like the 2 month mark, that's really awesome. Yeah, sorry, so back to IKEA. They have like I'm showing the leek because this is like my son's favorite thing ever. But they have the like soft food and fruits now, which they don't always have. So I don't know when they're gonna go, but if you've wanted to buy some of these, go now and get them, because I've been looking for them like before I was pregnant. And like they just came. So there's a couple different sets, but yeah, this one as well has a lot of my followers that their children, the leek is their favorite too. It's so funny. Like I'll continue to show on my stories how much Amadeo loves this leek. I was actually with Rebecca for Mama in a Madhouse today. I was at her house for a play date and she like took out the leek just for him. And again, like he had a different fruit before, nothing. He had the leek and he was like flipping out. Like it's so funny. Anyway, these are really great toys. They're not too expensive. I like soft toys for infants because you can wash them like in the washer and then the dryer and then easy peasy. But I like the idea of getting them used to real life things that they're going to eat, things that they're going to play with, like like wooden toys or plastic toys in their kitchen, like around a year and older, but introducing them younger. I don't know if it's true, but I would think it links to like interests like later on. And I know my son will like leeks forever, which is super awesome. I guess I should make him something with leeks in it. Anyway, yeah, so different like soft toys, different things like that to explore, which is really fantastic. So there's like only a little bit of time left before this live is done. I hope this will be a good point of reference for different things. We were able to talk about tummy time. You guys gave some really great suggestions and tips as well. We talked about a little bit about sleep training, but we're gonna get into bigger picture stuff further on with Antea, because that's who I sleep trained with. We talked about what I think is most important, which is really putting mom in there in those early months. Like put yourself like as a priority. Establish routines. That's what I think. That's what I'm hoping to do for my next one. And try everything once. Just try it out, whether it's a Mommy and Me group, whether it's swimming, whether it's this activity, whether it's meeting new people. Just try it once and you'll know, like Sarah said, you'll know very quickly if it's not for you and not for your child and not for your family. And then you will know also very quickly what is, and what you leave feeling supported, empowered, making connections. You'll also feel that, I promise you. So to leave, does anyone have any questions or comments, anything like that? If not, don't worry. I will continue to post out blog posts about different things. I do with Amadeo the products I recommend. I'm going to be asking you what you guys would like in the weeks to come as well. But yeah. Okay, I think it's pretty good. Thank you. You're welcome. Again, I've really enjoyed this because what I really love so far about starting this blog and this platform has really been connecting with parents, sharing my passions, which is early childhood education. As you guys know, most of you guys know, I've been an educator working in the field for over 10 years. And being on mat leave and not working in the field with the children, with my coworkers, I think if I didn't have this outlet, it would have been a really big different story. It would have been a big part of me that was missing and lacking. So I appreciate this connection that we have made. The parents who interact with me on the daily through my stories, who ask me questions, ask me for advice, give me encouraging comments. Like, this is what is special about this platform with me. And every single day I connect with you guys on such a personal level. I just don't want, during these different stages that my son goes through, to not have time to connect with you guys and give you the information you want. So I'm hoping during these little fun phases that children go through and my son is going through, to still be able to give you guys that advice, have those really intimate connections for, an hour of Tuesdays with you guys. And I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it too. But thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my stories and on my feed, and I'll see you next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Mwah!